Welcome, Gridiron Glory fans. I'm your MVL lead reporter alongside co-lead Nick Ursini, and we are here to bring you Week 4's power ranking of the MVL. So, Nick, let's start at the top. Who do you have?
Scott, when you talk about the top of the MVL, you got to start with Tri-Valley. The Scotties have been on top of the MVL for so long now, and despite their opening game loss to St. Vincent St. Mary's, they rebounded in such a good way. Now, number 2, kind of a little bit of a surprise, but not really, the Philo Electrics. Replacing Nate Baker, Dakota Perry, Dylan Tweedy, and Jacob Muller was not going to be a simple task, but Isaac Gill has stepped up and has been a dominant force both on the offensive side and as the defensive side, as his quarterback and a safety. And then a little bit, probably the biggest surprise would be the John Glenn Little Muskies coming in at number 3. Justin Haycock has turned that team around, and although they just lost to Philo last week, they are still, just because Haycock is still, he's got a great story, as you touched on earlier, and we'll see how they're going to finish up. But right now, I got them number 3.
So what is it that separates those 3 teams from the rest of the pack?
So what really separates these 3 teams is consistency. Tri-Valley's got Andrew Newsom under center and Caleb Craig, a very ferocious running back, but their defense is also a lot stingier than you would expect from a Scotty's team. Now, Philo, with Isaac Gill leading under center, but also the safety, that team is just, it's a Dirk Lincecum team. Stingy on defense, they were stingy last year, and again, this is the same year. And for John Glenn, Justin Haycock, the play that he had, although they lost last week, his consistency, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the entire conference.
And so talk about those middle tier teams and their struggle and maybe some of their positives.
Well, Sheridan's in the number 14. They kind of had a little bit of a problem adjusting to no Dylan Dupler. Although Ethan Heller is a very good replacement, the connection between Heller and his receivers just hasn't been, as good as it should be. So that's the reason they're coming off at number 4. Number 5 is Maysville, who Connor Sidwell, he's actually one of the only returning quarterbacks in the entire MVL, but again, that offense just hasn't been the same ever since Chase Roberts graduated a few years ago. So they're number 5. And number 6, who I thought was going to be one of my dark horse teams, is the New Lex Panthers, but their offense started out very, very weak in the beginning of the season. They had a very tough time getting the gears going against Fairfield Union, and that's just kind of halted their momentum going forward. But we still got a lot of games left to be played.
And so who do you have at the bottom?
Well, at the bottom, it's kind of the same old story, just kind of different order. Morgan 7, Crooksville 8, and West End 9. West End had their best chance to win last week against Morgan. They were actually up 2 touchdowns, but 42 unanswered points by the Raiders led to a very big defeat. And although they still have Crooksville on the schedule, it's kind of going to be tough for the Tornadoes to pick up a victory. We'll see.
All right, thank you, Nick, for your rankings. This week, we will be at the Showdown in Dresden watching the 2 top teams in our conference go head-to-head. Until then, we will be seeing you, Gridiron fans.